I'm Bill Corey. 14 years ago, my brother and I came up here for a hiking trip, and we hiked to some lakes up here, and they were very nice. And unfortunately, 2 days after Christmas, December 27th, my brother passed away, and he wanted his ashes spread in various places, and I thought I'd go up and spread them up here. That's what I'm going to do. So come along on the journey, and I'll show you some pictures and of the places we went, and hopefully I can do him right. Thanks. Beautiful country up here. I'm about 10, 15 minutes in. I got a ways to go, but just thought you'd like to see some of the countryside here. Going back to Lake Edith, and I think I'll spread some of his ashes on Cloverleaf Lake, which was a beautiful lake we went to last year, or 14 years ago. It is August 1st, 2014, and as I said, we came out here in 2000, and we fished these lakes, and didn't really catch a whole lot, but it was a lot of fun. We spread my brother's ashes in the Pacific Ocean, the Gulf of Mexico. He's a big surfer. We spread some up at the ancient bristlecone pine forest, and we've spread some here in Mammoth Lakes, at Dead Man's Summit, and at our campsite overlooking Little Hot Creek, and another campsite overlooking the Owens Valley, or what's it called? The Long Valley. And so he wanted his ashes spread in various places. So this will be one of the last. He wanted a mountain lake, so I thought this would be very appropriate. Well, I've gained the first ridge. I'm about 11,000 feet. You can see in the distance there, that's the town of Mammoth Lakes. Absolutely gorgeous day. This is the 5th day of a 6-day trip here. This is the first day that we've actually had good enough weather to come up here. You can see the switchbacks that I came up. Kind of breathing heavy, not as good a shape as I used to be, although I like to think I am. I'm about to go over this ridge, and you're not going to get a view of Mammoth Lakes, but you'll see a spot that my brother and I stopped at. I'll take you there. Well, here's a point that my brother and I stopped at in 2000, and we went out on the edge of that point there and took pictures of ourselves. Here's a picture of my brother back in 2000, and then here's a picture of me in 2000. Not as much snow around, but we're on our way. We're gonna go up that ridge in the far distance and then drop down and go to the right to enter the lakes. All right, there's the ridge I have to go over, and then to the right. It's a big up with a lot of switchbacks. Oh, this is gonna be fun. I'll make it though, no problem. Well, I'm just over an hour into my hike, and obviously I've made the ridge, and now I'm going to drop in. This is what we're looking at here is Lake Genevieve. My brother and I stopped here and took photos of ourselves. Here's my brother back in 2000, and then here's me. You can see there's not nearly as much snow. It's been a very dry year, but actually what we're doing is we're going to be going over here, and just on the other side of that ridge is Lake Edith, and just beyond it is Cloverleaf Lake, and that's where we're going to go. That's where we camp. So we'll go over there. Well, after an hour and a half of backpacking, I've made it to Lake Edith. You can see it's absolutely beautiful. Doesn't seem like there's anybody here. It's quiet. This is a perfect lake. You can see fish just jumped over there on the right. My brother would have absolutely loved it here, but I'm going to go just over that ridge that you see in the distance, and there's another lake called Cloverleaf. And I'm going to try to find my way to it and then drop some of his ashes over there. Well, as best I can tell, this is where we camped in 2000. It has changed an awful lot since then. Here's what it looked like in 2000. You can see my tent there, and then here's what it looks like now. Very different. But we had a good time on Lake Edith. Caught a lot of fish. It's a pretty place. Well, you can see I've made it to Cloverleaf Lake. I'm 2 hours in, and I'm gonna dump his ashes out on that little peninsula that you see. You can see Cloverleaf is an absolutely gorgeous lake. Well, I'm on my way back. I'm about halfway. I'm on the ridge line, about 11,000 feet. You can see the trees don't grow very high at this altitude. If you look down there, you can see Long Valley and Lake Crowley. And in the far distance, you'll see White Mountain Peak. And I'm about to hit that spot where I'm going to go down the ridge. It's a neat little hike here. This is a flat area. I've just come up a long way up from the lake. And now I'm going to start back down, back into that little bowl. And you can see in the distance there the little ridge where I stopped and showed you where my brother and I took our photos. See, I'm coming, we're starting down now. Well, I'm about halfway down the ridge. You can see Convict Lake, Long Valley, the highway way down there. That's 395 and the Mammoth Airport and the Glass Mountains in the distance. But I'm gonna walk down here, and you can see that's where I'm going, right over there, right over that little saddle there. So I got to go down a little bit further. There's a little switchback over here that I'm gonna gain. I'm gonna go down. Pretty view. Outstanding. You can actually see this ridge when we're driving down on 395. It's interesting to look back up here and say, wow, I was up there. Well, we've got a few feet to go down to the road, and this will mark the end of my hike. I want to thank Bob Milam for bringing me up here. Bob and my brother met in college, and they were lifelong friends to the end. Bob has my brother's truck now, and it's allowed me to get up this mountain. And I think my brother would be very proud of what we've done and where we've spread his ashes. Rest in peace, brother.